Hi. I was hoping to be sidekick, but she wants to be sidekick, so I'm going to bring us into this.
Welcome back. It's so good to have all of you back again. And who's our first person today?
Our first person on agorastartupidol.com, the
Yes.
great battle of the startups, is, it says here, Ryan from Wine Maps.
Sounds
Ryan,
interesting.
It's been so long since we've heard from you. How are you doing?
I'm doing well.
Would you like to begin your 2-minute presentation for our judges right now?
Sure.
Okay, as soon as you start talking, I will begin the timer. So take a deep breath and rock our world.
All right. Thank you. All right. Wine tourism is a global market, and Napa Valley alone brings in $1 billion a year from it. Hi, I'm Ryan Ornelas with winemaps.com. Wine Maps is a social directory that allows people to discover, learn, and interact with wineries, vineyards, wine bars, and events from around the world. You can find vineyards in Mendocino, discover wineries in Greece, choose a wine bar to go to in the city, or find an event to crash. With your phone, you can find the nearest Wine Maps locations, check in, review them, post them to your social networks, or map out your own wine tour. Wine Maps is a social media tool that most wineries can't afford to build or manage on their own. Our real-time activity stream of check-ins, checkouts, comments, posts from other social networks allows consumers to follow the wineries in real time. Our revenue stream comes in with advertising of the Wine Maps locations, but more importantly, what's around them, commission from the sales and wine deals of travel stays, and from our in-app billing of a mobile application, where the app is free to download and to see Wine Maps locations with the data service, but to save the wine regions for offline use, you can download a wine region individually. The team consists of myself and several key vendors. I have a pending trademark on the logo and the name of Wine Maps to become the Yelp for wineries. We see our top 3 competitors as Yelp for ratings and reviews, but they don't focus on the niche market of the wine regions. Lot 18 is another competitor that offers deals and promotions, but we're able to target our locations of our users with the geo-targeting of our maps. And individual wine region apps, but they're limited to just that wine region, and you don't know what you're getting with them. There are over 90,000 wineries in the world. Same thing to get in front of the consumers, and Wine Maps is a free cost to the wineries to promote themselves on the site.
Ryan, are you giving us a gift of 14 seconds? We really appreciate that. All right.
Let's start with Eve.
How do you plan to go about the customer acquisition you're going to need to be a major player against, for instance, Yelp, which is, I don't care if it isn't specialized, it's a huge competitor?
Yes, so pretty much with the focus of just the wine region, we market ourselves at the wine events and try to target the wine bloggers for promotions. And by giving them a tool where they can promote their own articles or their own experiences that they had, that's the way we look to do the grassroots promotions. But for ratings and reviews, we're focusing on the experience and not the wine tasting. So that separates ourselves from not just other wine tasting articles or other wine tasting reviews, but the experience of it.
All right. Mark.
Can you clarify for me? It sounds like a very local business, but I mean, is this just for Napa Valley or
no? This is worldwide. So the vision is, wineries up in Mendocino, Greece, Italy. When I traveled to Greece, this is what inspired me because I had no idea what was there. And when I went there, I learned that the grapes grew on the ground, and it's a very unique culture up there for the grape growing. So it's worldwide. That's what separates ourselves from just the individual wine apps for Napa themselves.
So then how do you scale in terms of organization?
We have about 40 social media interns that we're giving them a tool that they can help connect to the wineries so they can help prepare their portfolio of getting into the wine industry. And by not focusing on the wine tasting, you don't need to be expert in wine. You need to be a social kind of a marketer person to help promote and get out there.
Okay, cool. Is Jason around this time? Would we have him judging? I guess not. So let's go right to Axar. Jinx.
Can you hear me? Sweet.
Yes,
awesome.
we can hear you.
Great. My question was, and I understand that you're competing with Yelp, and I understand that you want to be Yelp for wine, but I don't fully understand what is the problem that you're trying to solve. What is Yelp failing at?
Yelp doesn't, for smaller wine regions, Yelp doesn't offer the number of wineries that associate for like my hometown of Mendocino, which has 80 or 90 wineries, they only offer 20 of them. So they don't cover the small wine regions, which throughout the world, anything besides Napa and Sonoma or Provence, likely they don't have that much on them.
Got it.
That's
So
good.
smaller regions.
Correct.
Got it. Okay. Thank you.
Right. Thanks. This is
So
great.
let's go to scoring and comments. Eve?
I want to comment on that last point. Yelp has the infrastructure to handle any region. It's really about customer acquisition. It just means they haven't reached those customers yet to do reviews.
Correct.
And if they haven't done it, if it's a challenge for them, it's going to be the exact same challenge for you, and they have a lot more resources than you. Just a caution. I'm, of course, a big fan of wine and wine regions, and it certainly would be nice to have another tool. I just think you're going to be you're going to have a big up-road battle, but good luck. I wish you the best. I look forward to printing out one of your maps next time I'm in the wine country. I'm going to give you a 3.5.
Thank you.
All right.
Great.
3.5 from Eve. Mark.
I like the presentation, good energy, and it's definitely an interesting topic. It's always good to hear. On the business side, I am concerned with the scalability of business like this. Definitely, I think that's an issue. On the revenue model, same thing. It seems kind of a generic answer at this point. I think there's a lot of good possible things here. I'm not sure how big or how small the potential is for this type of business. I would give it a 3.
A 3.
Okay.
Now let's take a little break from our scoring and have Tanya introduce herself. She is our new judge for this hour. Go ahead, Tanya.
Hi, can you guys hear me?
Yeah,
Yes.
If you wouldn't mind leaping in out of order
Yeah.
and asking a question of Ryan.
I actually don't have any questions at this point.
Okay.
Okay.
Are you? Then we'll wait until the end of the scoring round, and we'll bring you back in for your scores.
Okay.
Moving on to let's see. Did we get a score from Mark?
Yes, he had a 3.0, right?
0.
3.0, that is correct.
Okay. And now Aksar.
Yeah. I'm concerned that this is going to be very useful for several niche areas, but you'll have some trouble getting beyond that. I'm sure you can beat Yelp at specific wine valleys that are, less popular than Napa and stuff like that. You might even beat them at Napa. But I'd be concerned figuring out how you can scale, and this could be a very nice business in terms of a small business to run for yourself. I'm not sure if it's a business with big enough opportunity to be a venture-backed business. I'll give you a 3.3.
Okay, 3.3.
And Tanya, as you've probably figured out the format, I'll throw a little bit of feedback at them and drop in a score from 0 to 5. And yes, decimals and other fractions are allowed.
Sure. So I'm sorry, I'm coming in late into this a little bit, but is there, and I know you had a demo on the site. I didn't get a chance to review that. Is there something that's already available to users, or are you still in the process of coming up with?
Yeah, we have a private beta that we're working with right now.
Mm-hmm.
There's still issues with the site we're trying to iron out, and then we have a prototype of our mobile app for the iPhone. But to the consumer, we haven't reached or tried to target the consumers yet. We're just targeting the wineries and working with the wineries.
Got it. So you're pulling from that.
Yeah,
That
so we
side.
have about 7,000 locations right now.
Okay.
And the timer went off. What is your score, Tanya?
3.5.
3.5. Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, thank you so much, Wine Maps.
I am so thirsty for a good wine right now.
That sounds good.
Thanks, Ryan.
Thanks, Ryan.
Thank you.
Okay, we're moving right to.
Along to Game Touch.
That's right.
With Dan. Hi, Dan. Can you hear me?
There, okay. All these little lights and buttons flashing, and we don't see Dan yet. There's
There he
Daniel
is.
English.
Hey.
Oh,
Hi,
man, I see
Dan.
him.
Hello,
Hi,
how are you
Dan.
doing?
Doing great. Well, we would love to hear about GameTut.
So as soon as
Yes.
you start yammering, I'm going to push this green button that counts down 2
On
minutes.
mark, get set, go.
Hammering away. 76% of all American households have someone in the house who regularly buys or plays video games. Many of these
Buys.
homes, you'll find an abundance of games, and DVDs are just no longer played. Can you guys hear me okay still?
Perfect.
Yeah, I was just commenting because I always buy games all the time, but I don't play them.
I tell you, these games, they linger inside the house until they're either traded with a friend or they're sold for pennies on the dollar, or sometimes just they just linger so long they're just tossed out altogether. Now, retail giants like GameStop have built a multi-billion-dollar empire on cashing in on these used video games, taking advantage of the secondary video game market. Actually, out of the $8.5 billion GameStop earned in 2010, $2.5 billion came from used games and peripherals alone. Now companies like Walmart and Best Buy are trying to get in the action. They're offering buyback programs. Their formula for success, much like a pawn shop, it's very simple. It's buy low and sell high. The problem with this approach is it really takes advantage of the consumer who spent quite a bit of money, sometimes now up to $60 for a brand new game when this merchandise was new. The solution that we've created is called GameTut.com, and GameTut offers our members the ability to trade their used games and DVDs to other members on our site in exchange for our form of virtual currency. Now what they do is they take this virtual currency and they can use it for any other item that's listed on our site. We plan on branching out to other types of consumer electronics in the future as well. GameTut's free to use. We don't charge the consumer any upfront. We make our money by deducting a small amount of virtual currency from each side of the transaction every time a trade is made. Now, if a member is a few dollars short, $2 or $3 short, not a big deal. They can purchase additional virtual dollars in exchange for real money. My name is Dan English. I'm a former retail manager at GameStop. That's how I know their system. I've surrounded myself with a skilled team of advisors, programmers, and startup consultants. I'm currently in the Kaufman Fast Track program, and I've been very involved in the local startup community. Our site is our site is built, but it's currently in beta testing. We've got about 200 members, and we're generating a small amount of revenue right now.
Fantastic.
That was perfect.
And Mark,
get
can we
into
hear
the,
from
what
you?
we were asking for, but that's okay.
No, yeah,
Okay.
take 10 more seconds. We cut
Yeah,
into
go ahead.
Sure.
Go
I was
ahead.
just going to say that basically we're looking for a $120,000 angel investment in exchange for 40% equity stake in GameTut. Our year one projection is worth at about $120,000 in revenue our first year. We've got a very low burn rate. Our expenses are very low. And we plan within about 3 to 4 years to have a 5 to 6x return on any investor commitment to our company.
Excellent. All I heard was success.
Success. And go, Mark. Comments
and
and
Jordan,
questions, Mark.
Thank you for the presentation. I have a question regarding the virtual currency you're using and why you chose to go that route as opposed to just straight prices like a GameStop would do.
Sure. Well, our pricing, our game pricing is very similar to what you would see at a GameStop. If a used game at GameStop goes for, say, $49 and new it's $59. On our site, it would probably run about $45. Now, again, the benefit to this virtual currency is, let's say someone trades a game to another person and the game was scratched or it just didn't work out. We are not refunding actual money in this transaction. As a company, we would be refunding this virtual currency. So both end users still get what they want. The person who is receiving the game, if it got scratched up, it wasn't what they expected, we can refund them the amount of virtual currency that they used to purchase that game, if you understand what I'm saying there.
Okay, go ahead, Axar.
Very interesting concept. I think gaming in general is a very, very big market, and combining it with individual social sort of credits and stuff like that is always interesting. How do you see yourself competing with Zyngas of the world and with companies like? How do you see yourself working with Zyngas?
They're getting into like social gaming and things like that. Sure, and George is an expert in this. it's really two different types of gaming. The companies like Zynga and the company who created like Angry Birds and this and that, even though they've made the pie bigger. They haven't really taken over a large market share from the traditional publishers of these video games. They've just made the revenue pie bigger. So you really have this thing called casual gaming now, which are people get on their cell phones and they play Angry Birds or they play these Zynga games or whatever you see on Facebook, and it's a completely different type of gamer who goes into a Walmart or a Target or a Best Buy and purchases the brand new Call of Duty game that just came out, or the brand new, whatever, the new Halo game that just came out, or something like that. Again, it's a completely different type of consumer that we are trying to attract.
Okay, let's see, Tanya from Apple.
Oh,
She had to drop off. Oh, okay. Bye-bye, Tanya
And-
from Apple. Sorry about that.
I'm a big Apple fan. I'm disappointed.
And how about Eve?
How do you see, what does your growth model look like? How fast do you see yourself getting up to where you can have a kind of a nice return?
Sure. Well, we think by year 3 we'll be about that $500,000 mark, which is not, for an investor, is not a huge return. I mean, I know most investors want to see that $2 to $5 million type of revenue earnings. Now, what we want to do is, again, when we start branching out into different areas, when we start branching out into accepting not just games, but say iPads or iPhones, I think that is going to open up a whole different revenue stream for us. And we also are looking into the logistics of trading ebooks right now. There's several ebook companies that will actually, if you look at the terms of service, will allow you to trade ebooks 4 and 5 times. And there's 1 or 2 small companies out there that are dabbling in that. So we think once we've established this trading platform and our technology is proven, we can grab that market share very quickly and be able to get into that $2, $3, $4, $5 million range in the next 3 to 5 years.
Okay, excellent. And Sean's gone? Is that right?
Yeah. We're down to 3 judges now.
We're down to 3 judges now. So time for scoring.
Time for scoring and feedback. Let's again
Let's
start
hear
with
Mark.
Mark.
Okay. In terms of presentation, that's so far the best one I've heard today. It was a lot of energy, very to the point. You mentioned the revenue model, you mentioned the team, you mentioned clearly, you explained the product, what the problem was, etc. So it was very well done. From a business perspective, I see a lot of competition. There's not just GameStop, there's also eBay and Amazon allowing you to sell in games, etc. I'm not clear. One of the issue I see, is the postage and delivery side of things, where I didn't ask. I should have, but that's a part. There's a whole part here that needs to be addressed, obviously, it sounds like a great idea and definitely worth trying. I would give it a 3.5.
3.5. And go ahead, Eve.
I like the idea. It seems interesting. I agree that you're going to have more competition than you realize. Great pitch. You covered most of the things I would have asked you, so I'm going to give it a 3.7.
Thanks.
3.7. Aksar?
Aksar.
Yeah, very stuff you're doing. Again, gaming is a very big deal. I also have some concerns about where you fit into this picture. On one end, you have people like Zynga, Badgeville, who are aiming for social. On the other side, you have old competitors like GameStop. I think that even though hardcore gamers are different from social gamers and different from mobile gamers, all those worlds are beginning to intertwine. So as a new company, best strategy, in my opinion, is to probably have, social tie-ins and stuff like that, and find a way where you can maximize what Zynga is doing, but maximize for these hardcore gamers. And I'm not really sure you figured that out fully yet. It's a very short presentation and stuff. So that's my concern. I do like where you're going. I really liked your presentation and intensity. So I give you a 4.5.
Appreciate it. Can I respond one real quick point?
You know, you're not allowed to, but yes, because we love you, Daniel.
Appreciate it, George. Actually, that's an excellent point. One thing that we are hoping, and one of your judges I know is Nolan Bushnell. He is actually involved in a company that is looking at trading data down the road. Like there's a constitutionality issue on whether or not if you purchase something or you download something, as long as you are not making copies of it, why should you not have the ability to trade that or sell that data to someone else? I know Bushnell is working on that. So what we hope is down the road is that we might be an intermediary between, or a bridge between trading this real merchandise and being able to gain that market share and then eventually trade this virtual data. So and there's a lot going on with that right now, and I'm sure Bushnell.
Daniel, there are limits to our love.
Okay, and we are. Thank you so much, Daniel. It's really interesting. Good luck. You. And thank you to our judges. And we're going to be going on to our next contestant.
Speaking of love, it is really difficult for us to not play favorites as judges and as helpers and staff of AgoraStartupIdol.com. I've got to admit that we really are happy to have all of you guys on, but
everybody's a delight.
Trent Me is one that we just.
I've been having fun Trenting people, so let's go to Trent Me. And here he is.
Hi everybody, can you hear me?
How are you, Joshi?
Yes,
we can hear you.
Excellent, thank you very much.
And you have 2 minutes. Hit it.
Okay, everybody, my name is VS Joshi. I'm the founder of Trent Me. Trent is a made-up word. Trent means a true intention that is not revealed until it is matched. And we have created a friendship progression platform. Let me tell you a very personal story. You know, when I was in college, I was interested in girls. I mean, that doesn't mean that I'm not interested in girls. I'm interested in girls even now. Okay. Aside from that, so I was interested in girls. I had many friends who were girls, and I wanted to take my friendship further with these girls. So I went ahead and I asked girls out, okay? And lo and behold, I was rejected left, right, and center. You know, rejection is not my problem because I'm used to taking rejections. However, what happened was my relationship with all these girls was interrupted the moment I opened my mouth. I said something and okay, they were no longer my friends hereafter, okay? And then I came into a situation where I didn't open my mouth. I didn't say anything. And yes, it was a missed opportunity. I had an alumni meeting and one girl walks to me and says, "Hey, VS, do you remember me?" I said, "Yeah, of course." "How come you never asked me out when we were in college?" No time for me to shoot myself in the head, folks, because I thought of it 100 times. I thought of it 100 times to ask her, but because of my previous history, I never asked. So here's the problem. I open my mouth, it's a problem. I don't open my mouth, it's a problem. There are hundreds and hundreds of Hollywood movies that have come on this particular thing, but there is no solution. What we have done is we have created a solution. We have filed for a patent for this particular solution, and we have launched this solution in one small college, Babson College in Massachusetts. We won the Big Idea Competition Award. And what we do is we integrate with Facebook. As soon as you come on the platform, you see all your friends, and then you select a friend, and then you select one of these intentions. You can see these 10 intentions over there. They range from, hey, let's have a cup of coffee, let's go for dinner, let's have a romantic relationship, or a no strings attached relationship. You go there, you select a friend, you select your intentions for the friend, and you save it. We don't tell your friend or anything like that. If your friend comes on the platform and selects the same intentions, then there is a match, and we will let both of you know about the matched intention. Nothing else gets matched. Okay? Myself, okay. I am. Okay.
I hate to do it. It's a 2-minute presentation. You knew that. Okay. Well, and that just proves that we can play with a level playing field, even if we do adore you.
Okay, thank you.
Hopefully, the questions that come up first will help you finish out your thoughts.
Thank you very much. Yep.
Thanks. Let's start with Aksar today. Aksar, can you give him a nice leading question that'll help him out?
Yeah. My question is basically, how do you make money off this stuff?
How do you make money?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, so a couple of ways we can make money out of this thing. Number one is, if you look at those intentions are like dinner and a movie and lunch and let's get out and let's hang out. So imagine that you have set intentions for your friends. If there is a match, we can give you offers from our partners, a 2-for-1 offer or something like that. And even if there is no match, let's say all these trends expire after 30 days. If there is no match, we give you an offer for 25% off. If there is a match, we give you offer for 50% off. And we can get money from from our partners, number one. Number two is we can provide this web service to all the matchmakers in the world. Because these situations arise in many different ways, many walks of life. This hesitancy about asking something because of embarrassment, or because of the fear of rejection, or because of spoiling friendships or something like that. All the walks of life you can come across these situations. So we will provide this web service to the various matchmakers in the world. So that is another way. And the third thing is like advertising, and another thing is, okay, if there is a match, there is a highly monetizable moment, and at that time we can say, hey, you need some tokens to see your match. So those are some of the ways by which we can monetize it, but currently it is all free, and we just want to get growth and traction and things like that.
Very good.
Can I ask you just
let's move on to Eve and see if there's time at the end.
Sure.
I'm intrigued. This is a problem nobody's quite worked out yet. Of course, I assume it's sort of limited to single people, or maybe not. Nothing illegal about that. Are you? I'm still wondering, would people be nervous about? Oh, well, somebody will keep checking until they see, oh yeah, that was a match, so now I know how their real feelings are. You have some kind of a setting in there to prevent monkeying.
Okay, I think the thing is, let's say for example, I set 5-6 intentions for my friend Michelle. Okay, I can tell through the system that, hey Michelle, I have set some trends for you. Michelle doesn't know what trends have been set for her. When she comes on the platform, she selects only the ones that she is interested in. And yes, only those are the ones that she would know. So let's say, for example, with Michelle, I will always select a coffee with everybody. And there's also one trend called You Are Cool. That I can say to any of my Facebook friends. So I can say, hey, I can select You Are Cool, coffee, and let's say a romantic relationship. Okay. And if Michelle says, okay, yeah, with VS, I don't mind going for a cup of coffee. I don't mind going for lunch. Yeah, he's cool. But she's not interested in romantic relationship, and that's fine. The ones that matched were only coffee and You Are Cool, and those are the only ones that are exposed to both of us. She still doesn't know about my romantic interest, and that may not spoil my relationship with Michelle. So I have helped in saving one relationship from getting spoiled.
Mark, could you throw a question out that'll help?
Yes, can you give us more details on the team who's involved in this venture?
Mark, thank you very much. I appreciate you asking me these questions. Aksar, thank you to you also. Okay, the team, myself, my background is I'm an engineer. I have done my MBA from Babson College, and I have been a software product manager, software product marketing manager in all the leading companies, and I have won all kind of marketing awards, including an Excellent Marketing Individual Award. My co-founders are technical people. They have done their BS and Masters in Computer Science, and they have been technical co-founders of another social media startup company. And on our board of advisors, we have 2 professors from Stanford University on our board of advisor, and 1 CEO of a social media startup company. And yeah.
Wow.
Thanks.
That's great. We have time for one more question from Aksar. Go ahead, Aksar.
Okay, cool, awesome. I see that you have a patent pending. I imagine the patent pending is about the ability to anonymously match people who are logged in to Facebook with their own real profiles. The concept has been actually thought of several times. How do you see this patent? Do you see this patent?
So I think, see, there isn't, we have gone through the previous history, and we have realized that there isn't a patent for intentions. Okay, my intention to have a cup of coffee, dinner, lunch, and all those kind of things. Earlier, there were patents for, I have a crush on somebody, but it is a very binary kind of a thing, yes or no. If I have a crush on somebody, I can't tell that person, hey, I have sent some hint, because that is only one side which does only the crush thing. So there is no hint over here. It's directly telling the person that that she or he has a crush. But because we have this 10-15 intentions, I can tell any of my friends, I have set some trends for you.
Aksar, it is the time. The time has come.
The time has come.
Will you please
Well
lay a score on us and a little bit of feedback for VS?
Yeah, I'd say that you're definitely one of the best contestants. Your guys' company is pretty well positioned there. My only concern is about your revenue model, which I'm sure you'll have a lot of time to work out. I'd say trying to simplify it on something, less difficult than, coupons and all that stuff. And my other concern is that somebody else like Match.com or Harmony or whoever is watching this could, in theory, go and do something like it, and they have the members to be able to take you on. So those are my two concerns. And my score for you is 4.8.
4.8.
Woo!
Got it. And we're heading out
to
Eve. Go ahead, Eve.
I also like this. This is a thing. If nobody else has pulled it off, it's going to be customer acquisition, like Aksar said. You've got people that already have a ton of users, but you know what? Facebook has a ton of users. So if you can get people spreading this around virally on Facebook, if suddenly people start picking it up, you could, get a hit going. So I'm going to go ahead and give it a 4.5.
Thank you very much.
4.5. And let's hear from Mark. Thank you, Mark.
All right. Well, very good presentation. Lots of good energy in there. A little long, I guess that's something that needs to be worked on, so that we couldn't fit.
My bad. I should have said 15 seconds.
The revenue model and all these things, but beyond that, I think it's a very innovative idea. I hadn't seen that before. I'm a little concerned with the IP side. There is a patent pending, but it may be copied, and obviously that's a concern. The other thing is I would definitely work on the user experience, because that's a lot of what's going to make or break the whole thing. But overall,
Absolutely.
I would give it a 4.5.
Thank you very much.
Okay, 4.5. We got our scores for you. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, everybody. I appreciate that.
I want to add that maybe slow down your presentation next time.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, I will do that.
And I got some advice too, which is that when I show the clock, it can't actually be read. So next time you're up, which I'm sure you will be, VS, I'll get you a bigger timer, or I'll give you a warning near the end.
And we're ready to go to our next contestant.
Do we have another
contestant? I'm not sure who our next contestant is at this time. Do we have another contestant?
Oh, we do.
And that person is in for.
Oh, he takes 15 seconds to.
Yes, but I'm just wondering who it could be.
You guys at home are no doubt wondering what all these napkins say.
It might be checking. It's Sean.
It's
Motivate My City. Sean.
That's Sean.
Hi.
I remember Sean.
Okay, and he's on his way into us.
He comes in from Africa, doesn't he? South Africa?
Motivate My City.
Cape Town, South Africa.
Hi, Sean. I had fun reading about you too on the website. That was fun. It was interesting.
Sean, if you can hear us,
thank you.
We can hear you. We don't have video for you yet.
And we're frozen too, so it's kind of fun.
No, we have no video. My connection is very slow. I haven't been able to get a decent connection here.
Well, then we'll just roll with that. And when you start talking, I will start your timer, and I will tell you when you've got 15 seconds left out of your 2 minutes.
Okay.
So please begin at your leisure.
Thank you very much. Success starts in the mind, and yet in most instances we spend a huge amount of time showing people how to do things and very little in terms of preparing them emotionally and mentally. So what Motivate Cape Town is all about is creating a citywide coaching network that is an empowering learning, and what you find in every city is there's an imbalance of knowledge, money, and energy. You've got the haves and the have-nots. If we look at knowledge as an example, you've got your professionals, call it psychologists, coaches, consultants, anybody who's got an empowering source of information. The wealth of information that they have generally sitting on hard drives and on files, and it's dribbled out in consulting hours or in courses, and that's very often not accessible to the majority of people. And so what Motivate My City does, it creates a learning space that allows your knowledge professionals to share their information in a way that creates a benefit for both parties. And we call them pros and peers. And the peers are the people who are obviously looking for the information. And what Motivate My City is a platform that online and offline. And it's a citywide network, and specifically to create those relationships that are both
15
online and offline.
15 seconds left, please. 15 seconds, Sean.
Okay. All right. The difference between us and a directory, for instance, which would be our competitor, is they are static. What we do is we engage the crowd. Monetize via business groups with sponsored events, advertise business development.
All right.
Oh, man.
Okay. Thank you. And let's hear from Eve first today. I mean,
well, as a good bureaucrat who works for lots of good bureaucrats and has really tried to do innovative things in a bureaucracy, how are you going to get? I mean, it sounds like those are the kind of folks you're targeting here. How are you going to get those kind of people to put forth the effort to participate in something like this, or get around their fear of things that are different, social, public, that kind of thing?
Okay, the way we're getting around that, well, first of all, we're not dealing with bureaucrats, we're dealing with entrepreneurs in the sense of coaches and etc. And the one thing that we do offer them is to take some of their material and repackage it in a way that is accessible to people. So we may take a technique or something like that and repackage it into a 5-day course, into a 30-day course, etc., and make it available via email or video, etc. So it's simply the one pitch that we have to pros is give us a little and make you a lot. And that's what we're using to attract them to us. And it seems to be working.
Thanks.
Excellent. And XR, can we hear from you next?
Yeah. First of all, I commend what you're doing. That is a very important task. I think it is probably one of the harder ones. Have you considered partnering with various development agencies that provide this kind of aid to people?
Very definitely. It's a platform that is open to anybody within the city. So we have relationships with the city council. We have relationships with a lot of development organizations. We have a lot of networks, or a few networks that are coming on, but we're attracting networks, your business networks, women networks, etc. Any kind of community organization that is looking to expand their reach. All of them are able to have it within Motivate that time.
Okay.
Cool. Well, let's move on to Mark.
Hi. Thank you for this presentation. That's definitely a great area to address. I have concern with scalability. It seems like a very labor-intensive work, and I'm not clear on how you scale, how you make it economically viable. If you could clarify this.
Okay, economically viable. We base it on founder members. We have 250 founder members. Then we're also going for 2 city partners who come in, invest capital within the business. Basically, they're comparing their capital investment, for instance, their advertising spend. So we're looking, one city partner here we're looking at is a real estate company, agency who spend a lot of money advertising, and what we do is give them a platform that gives them a prominent place and very competitive compared to the advertising budget. So that's where the money would come from out of them. Yeah, it's a citywide thing, and it's moderated and managed in the city. We run like a newspaper. We have a board of directors and then we have an editorial committee. And basically our city partners and our chairman are the operations or the governance structure within each city.
Okay.
Thanks. Well,
let's go to scoring.
Okay, so
all
are we still talking?
And no, we are now going. We are on our way to scoring, and the next person
Eve.
is Eve.
I'm also a little worried about scalability because you may have it launched there, but you're going to have to go sell this in every single city. So that's going to be, you know, a tremendous amount of effort. I don't know how many people, we always trying to get citizen engagement, but, you know, while we have, you know, certainly 100 people that are super engaged, everybody else doesn't care as much or only when something's broken. And so how you're going to, you know, engage and get the interest of the people you want to and who really should be interested and engaged. I'd like to see more about the revenue model. And honestly, I'm still having a hard time picturing it. So I think you can work on telling your story in such a way that I can visualize it, see myself in it as somebody who works for government, works in economic development. I'd like to be able to see myself in that picture, and I'm still having a hard time seeing that. So given that, though, I laud anybody who tries to make government better. That's always a lofty goal. So I'm going to give it a 4.3.
4.3. Nice. And go ahead, Mark.
Thank you.
Okay, on the presentation side, I think you know, it was a little too long. You described the problem, but you didn't have time to explain too much on the revenue or who's the team producing this. On the business side, I think it's a great social business. I think there's definitely a lot of value created. I haven't clearly see how you can take all this content and package it into something that can be consumed easily. And still, you know, make it scalable, you know, and sustainable. So, you know, I would give it a 3.
A 3. And finally, let's go to Aksar.
Hi. Yeah. I think what you're doing is very interesting, and I think it is very important. It is really hard to judge something like this at this level, this early on. I would focus also on having a very, very clear proposition. I think I read your website, and that sounded a lot more clear than the presentation. You said there that you're helping people who are recipients of aid be successful, because currently they don't know what it means to be successful. That is a lot more straightforward and a lot less fluffy than the presentation. I like that a lot more. Yeah, I'm giving you a 4.3, and I really hope that you go on to the next round and your next presentation is going to be more succinct.
Wonderful.
All right,
Thank you
so
very much.
Okay, I believe that we're done with this heat.
We are done with this heat.
We got 2 more heats to go today.
Yeah.
So please tune in about, what do you say, 5 minutes?
4
minutes.
4 minutes. We're going to be tuning back in. So we will see you then. Thank you so much, judges. Hope that you're coming back. And at 5:30 is our wrap-up show when you will hear all of the winners for today. Thanks so much. Signing off. Or maybe 5:15. We'll see.
Right. Okay.